Hello everybody, my name is Mike Tomorrow and I want to welcome you to the latest episode of My Life with Asperger's. Today's topic is talking about stubbornness. I know I did a video topic about being picky, but I think this can be related to that. But I still want to do a video about stubbornness. I feel that stubbornness does play a role in Asperger's and autism in the spectrum, because I feel that autistic people are stubborn. They don't want to resist the change. Like, I know the world is changing and there's nothing we can do about it, yet we are stubborn because of the fact the world does change and there's nothing we can do about it, you know? Being stubborn is something we need to get out of. I know it's hard because of the fact that being stubborn is a trait. Being stubborn, it's not really a trait, but stubborn is not the way it should be. Everything does not go the way it planned, you know? Stubborn, the definition of it is a description of someone who has difficulty changing opinions. The word can also be used to describe objects that are difficult to move or change. Yes, you probably heard of the phrase stubborn as a mule. A mule does not like to change. A mule does not want to move. You know, it wants to be stubborn. You know, I feel stubborn when I deal with life. With Asperger's, obviously. Or why would I be talking about this? Now, stubbornness can be a bad thing, alright? I know it can be a good thing, but it's mostly a bad thing to be stubborn. Like, for example, I do not feel comfortable working at night. I do not feel comfortable working late at night. I do not feel comfortable driving at night. Yet, you know, do these things link up to being stubborn? I think they do, because sometimes I do feel stubborn. It's like, do I want to try something new? Is it comfortable enough for me to try it, you know? It's hard adjusting to change, and someone might be stubborn about that because they do the things they want to do and you can't do it anymore. You know, stubbornness is hard to break out from someone, you know? It's hard. Autistic people have a hard time dealing with life. We understand that. And it's also understandable that they have a hard time dealing with the fact that, you know, being stubborn is not a good thing, you know? I know that people do want things to stay the same all the time, and they know they cannot happen. I don't like to be stubborn, but it's hard for me to adjust to change sometimes. You know? Because I do things the way I feel it should be right. And it's like, if it shouldn't be fixed, it shouldn't be changed, you know? But stubbornness, it's a hard topic for me to talk about even, but it is a topic that I do want to talk about because it is a topic that mostly people on the spectrum deal with. Like I gave you my examples of me being stubborn, you know? It's like I feel stubborn sometimes, even when I go out to eat. You know, like I don't like, I don't like some of the vegetables that come with the food. So I have to be stubborn, and I have to ask them, can I have this without this? It's very hard for me to adapt to life and not be stubborn at the same time. I know I can adjust to change somewhat, but being stubborn is not something I want to be. I don't want to be stubborn. When my parents asked me, do I want to do anything? Like last week when we were down in the caves there, I was like, it's up to you guys, because I don't really know where the places are in the Keys, and I don't really know what's good and what's bad. I wasn't being stubborn then, because it was like they know where all the things are. They know where all the good restaurants are. It's like me not knowing where all these things are, that is like, I know it drives me nuts sometimes, but at the same time, you gotta understand that if you don't know a place, then it's hard for me to be stubborn, right? I know that I could be stubborn and say, hey, I want to go to a pizza place or something, or because, I feel comfortable at a pizza place. But at the same time, you gotta try different things. I also like barbecue. And if it wasn't for me going to some of these barbecue places, I probably wouldn't have never experienced life in the barbecue restaurant world, and trying all these different sauces that they have, and trying all these different types of meat that I would never had before, and you know what I mean? I love eating barbecue. I love eating pizza. I love eating meat, so. But anyways, you got to relax. You can't always be stubborn for the rest of your life. I know it's hard. It's hard to take that trait away from you. I know it's hard to adjust to the changes. But if you feel that a change is needed, then go ahead. If you feel that, the world needs this change, you gotta feel it, I know you may be stubborn, but at the same time, you gotta adjust to the changes. Like, for example, I know I don't want to discuss this, but the president's race is coming up this year, and you might be stubborn to pick the president because he's affiliated with your political party or your political views, I'm not stubborn when it comes to voting, because of the fact that I'm an independent voter. I'm not registered with one of the parties. So I have the freedom to choose whoever the heck I want for president. Everybody does, actually. But I mean, I do want to say this. I know that sometimes change is good. You don't need to be stubborn, I don't like to be stubborn. But things happen that I am stubborn, But anyways, stubbornness is not a good idea, and I don't recommend it. And if the ability to change is in your opportunity, then do it. If I was 100% stubborn, I'd still be living with my parents. I'd still be living in Massachusetts. I wouldn't be living alone, But yeah, I'm stubborn enough to choose Florida as my new home, I really love the state, And I gotta adapt to change, because one of these days I'm gonna get a real good paying job. It might not be in Central Florida. It might be in Southern Florida, and I'm gonna have to move down there. I do feel that you got to adapt to the changes too. You know, I even have to adapt to changes. Because if I do get a new job someplace else, then I'm going to have to adapt to the change of me moving down to South Florida, and that's the way life has to be, you know. I'll be able to take my home with me, but still, if I have to move down to South Florida, then so be it, you know. I can't always work at Disney all the time. I cannot always live here all the time, you know. If there's a better opportunity, you cannot be stubborn about it. You got to take it, you know. So, but anyways, that's the end of this video for now. I will hope to see you in another episode of My Life with Asperger's. Talk to you later.